Welcome to the show. This is The Couch. My name is Ama Pratt, and of course, this is Pan African TV. You know where it's at. For this evening show, we are having 4 different conversations. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 wholesome about 4 awesome events that are upcoming. You know how we like to keep you updated with all the great and wonderful things that are happening around us. So that's the show for this evening. 4 things you can't miss, in the coming days. 4 things that you have to put on your calendar and be ready for. I would start with one that excites me. You will know why very soon. When we get to the conversation, you'll understand. So, Tamasco is 60. Hooray! Hooray, hooray, hooray. And that's Telma, All Students Association. They are 60 years old. They have a wonderful lineup of things that, exciting things that they are going to be up to commemorate, this awesome anniversary. I mean, 60 years. If this is a human being, I think it gives you a sense of what the person would be looking like and how the person would be like now. So there's an awesome, it's a milestone. So we have some anchorites in the studio tonight to have a conversation with us. I'll start with anchorite Pearl Rabello Aye. Hello.
Hello.
And you are Tosa 68. Tosa, so that's
of 1968, yes.
Yeah, my goodness. Wow. Okay. And then we have anchorite lawyer Messi Bensa Ado. Hello.
Hi.
And that's Tosa 76.
76, that's right.
Hey. Okay. And then we have anchorite Dinah Osam Terrier.
Hi.
And that's Tosa 82.
Yes.
See, all of the I won't talk. Oh my goodness. For me, all of this is Asians. There's no one for me. There's no one in here. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
great
you
to
very
have
much.
you. It's great to have you. My goodness. Okay, so let's start with the anchorites. Because you remember I made a mistake when we were doing the introduction. I was like, you know what I said. So let's start with that. What is it, anchorites?
Well, anchor, it originates from the fact that, first of all, we are situated in Tema. That was one of the trust schools that Kwame Nkrumah built, and he was very fond of the school. The anchor depicts, first of all, that we are in a harbor city, and these ships come and they moor in they are docked at the berthing area in the harbor. So the anchor goes down and it holds the ship from just moving.
Oh, will your anchor hold in the storms
of life? That's true. That's it.
Right.
So and for the school, we are anchored almost as if we were in the middle of the harbor city. So we are the anchor that holds in the city. Yes,
wow.
For the school, we are very, very academic oriented. And so the headmaster was gunning for that.
Right.
So he gave us that name. You guys are the anchor.
Right.
So
because it's very unusual.
Is.
I went to Infant Man Girls Secondary School, so obviously people are supposed to
yes.
Yes. And beyond that,
yes.
I know that you are Tosa.
Yes.
Beyond that, I don't think that we have
anything
else that sort of. So the anchorites.
Yes.
It was a little, for me.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So now I get. I get it. And your motto is nothing but the best.
Nil nisi optima.
Hey, please say it again.
Nil nisi optima.
Nil
nisi optima.
That is Latin.
I was going to say Latin.
That's right.
For nothing but the best.
Yes.
Okay. So let's talk about that. Is it true? Nothing but the best.
It is true. It is so true. I will let you.
Yeah.
Lucy
Yes,
say
funny enough, when we went to Tema Secondary School, we were doing Latin as a subject there. something that wasn't happening at many schools at that time. You know, but our headmaster at that time, S.K. Bua, thought it wise because, you know, most of the English words even come from Latin, you know. So we were doing Latin, and our motto is in Latin as well, nothing but the best, right? And at the school, you know, they wanted to inculcate into us nothing but the best. You know, anybody who went to Tema Secondary School came out as the best, because we are not there just to learn books, but it's a whole holistic thing. You know, there were a whole lot of things that we were taught there. I remember when we got there, the headmaster, you know, most headmasters at that time were not teachers. They didn't teach in the classroom. But our headmaster at that time made sure that he taught every Form 1 class a subject called civics at that time.
What subject?
Civics.
Civics.
Yes.
Oh, civic, like your civic duty.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, it covered the whole wide area. So he himself made sure that he inculcated into us that that feel of belonging, that feel of coming out with nothing but the best. And it was a way of also knowing every student, because you'd be surprised that even looking at the numbers at that time, this the headmaster could meet you outside and he knows immediately that that is one of his students, you know, because he was teaching every Form 1 class. And it was a good thing for us at that time. We thought he was worrying, but it was very good for us at that time. And he made sure that we put in our best. And that is how we started.
Wow, nothing but the best. Nothing but the best. Okay, so, I mean, I'm looking at TOSA 68, TOSA 76, TOSA 82. Obviously, you have a very strong alumni, right? A very strong one.
That is so.
Let's talk about that for a minute. You know, because you've all gone on to become, you know, and there's a list here that I'll get to in a minute.
Okay.
But for you to all take time to still belong to your old, listen, I'm very guilty. Even at this age, the Old Students Association. So I'm so impressed that, you know, all of you are so actively involved, and you know, why is this so important to you?
Yeah, with the culture inculcated in us by the headmaster, you know, the belongingness, being together. So we knew each other. No matter which class you were in, you belonged to a particular house with others. And so we came together as one. And since then, even after school, we used to see each other until we came together as an association. And as an association, we never left anybody out, be it a carpenter or a driver.
Wow.
We all came together.
Wow.
Be it a lawyer. As you know, we have a lawyer amongst us here. We always belong to each other. And that is why you see this vibrant association.
Very vibrant.
Yeah.
Very, very vibrant. Okay, so let me go over a little bit of your list. The only one that, you know, exciting to me, and I'll start with media. I'm sure you know why.
Yeah.
I'll start with media. And media, oh, where's media? Media, oh, there you are. You have Omar Sander, you know, my colleague,
Yeah,
City. And then, of course, you have the director of this place,
Yes.
Comrade Pissy Pat.
Yes.
Kazan.
And even his late brother, Nana Ben.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's impressive.
right.
I'm saying really as if I don't know, but I know.
So you see what Tamasco produced.
Oh
you know.
dear,
Yes.
oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Let talk us through some of your other, you know, the other people that have come out
Yes.
from someone secondary school.
Yeah, when it comes to the clergy,
Right.
you know,
Right.
I still talk about culture. We have the chairman of the Church of Pentecost, that is Apostle Eric Nyamiche, as a product of Tema Secondary School. And then we have Reverend Dr. Seth Ablo,
Yes.
as well as Reverend Dr. Enoch Ayata, and then Reverend Dr. Steve Wengam as well,
Wow.
to mention just a few.
Wow. And you've actually listed, there's no sector that you don't
we're
have.
not covered.
For
Yes,
every,
we're covered.
for
Yes.
every sector, in this our economy, you are covered.
We have anchorites everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yes.
Everywhere. So business and finance, marketing, medicine, law, media, clergy, sports, arts and culture, security, engineer, socialist, anthropologist.
That's right.
Wow. That's
right.
impressive. And all these people are actively involved.
Very much
Yeah.
so.
Yes.
I know because I know that Mr. Pratt is very active.
Yes,
He
he
is
is.
involved.
Yes.
For him to be involved at any rate is involvement and it's shocking considering,
Exactly.
how crazy his schedule is. Wow. So these are some of the people that you're
Yes.
old.
That is
Yes.
so.
Impressive. Okay. So let's talk about the significance of the school in its
Environment.
exactly in its locality, because we all pride ourselves in where our school is located. Those of us who come from the central region, there's that whole, we are the central region squad. For those who come from Accra, there's that thing. But you are uniquely placed, Tema.
Yes.
It's
It's a
right.
melting pot.
Right.
It's a melting pot.
Right.
And
So-
we had, when people see me, they think I'm fancy. I'm not.
You are not.
I'm not fancy. But I learned to speak fancy in school because most of my friends were fancies.
In Tema.
In Tema, yes. Agatha Bannerman was fancy. Beatrice Wood is fancy. A whole host of them, and most of them were my friends. So we spoke fancy, and I got stuck with it. And it is very interesting because we had a whole lot of different facets. We had people from Tamale. I was born in the north, and I started school with Imoro Igala's son, Dramani Igala. He was 2 years ahead of me, but we were friends. We all played in the grass all over the place. And then we met again at Tema Secondary School. He knows all of my sisters and brothers. And one of my brothers was his mate at school also. But so it gives you, when you go through, we had Evis, we had trees, we had Fantis and Inzimas, every aspect of Ghana was in there. And that was the beauty of it. And we didn't see anybody as different from a different sector, tribe or whatever. We all just merged together. And it was, I think that's why you see what you see now, because we all come together. We have lawyers, we have educationists, all of them, and it's beautiful. It is very, very beautiful. We still got it today. So thanks to FK Boa.
Right. And I can tell from your write-up that you really truly love, Dr. FK Boa.
Oh yes.
You do.
Yes.
You do. There's a strong connection to to him. And I think I have a sense of that from what lawyer said, considering that he took the trouble, to teach every Form 1 class. Okay.
Yes.
So, secondary school for my child. Why should I not take her to Infantiman Girls Secondary School? Why should I take her to Thelma Secondary School?
Okay, let me start by saying that, the school, even where the school is placed, you'll be surprised that the school is placed between 3 communities. We have Community 2, Community 1, and Community 5. So you can't even really tell which community the school is placed in, but we're surrounded by these communities and we are in the middle. So it's at a very good advantageous place. Right. And now, why choose Tema Secondary School? Why travel all the way to the central region, especially when we are in Accra? We have a very good school. Right here in Accra, with all the modern facilities that any other school in the central region has. We have our science laboratories, well-equipped ones. Presently, the old students are even renovating some of them. We have a very good environment. A school world with very beautiful buildings, all the facilities that you need. We have very good teachers. We never short of teachers there. Right. So we have everything that it takes and we are class, is it class A?
Grade A.
Grade A school.
Grade A.
Yes.
For the Ghana education.
That is so, yes.
Service.
And you know what it takes to get to that stage. Right. So we
so
have
Tema Secondary School is actually a Grade A school.
Yes, it is.
It certainly is.
It is. That is why I was asking, why travel all the way? When
there's a Grade A school right here. There's a Grade A school right here.
Exactly.
Right. And perhaps one of your strongest points would also be your strong alumni, no?
Yes.
If you are so involved, are you involved in the life of the students?
Yes.
Are you involved in the life of
We
the
are,
students?
very much.
Yes.
Because we
mentoring,
exactly,
all of
holding
that.
programs
Yes.
for them, mentoring them, lecturing, counseling, encouraging them. We always at the school. Even before the exams, I remember one year group brought them some books and what do you call math sets and those things. Sometimes we give them computers, laptops.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're very much in touch with the students.
So if I choose Tema Secondary School, my ward will have access to all of these great personalities that, you know, are listed here.
Exactly.
Yes. All of them.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, because they visit the school.
Right. Right.
The school almost every time.
Right. Right.
And you know, we have also tried to put up a clinic in the school, that we have a resident nurse there. So you can imagine not leaving to any clinic, but within the school. So if your child has a problem, yeah, you are safe.
That is so important to me.
Yes.
That is very, because for most of these schools, what we have is an infirmary. We don't have a clinic. We have an infirmary.
We have a clinic. We have a nurse with her quarters just by the
a residence for the nurse.
Right.
So
Right. That is awesome. So okay, in Tema, in Accra, who would you say your rivals are?
In terms of sports.
Oh, so it's different rivals for different categories.
Yes,
okay, let's talk sports.
In terms of sports, I remember very well. Was always on us. Yeah, because West Africa Secondary School
Really?
was, I think, one of their best athletes. He came to first form in our school. So anytime we went for sporting activities, in fact, they really beat us up. Yeah.
So what would be your competition in terms of sports?
Yeah, in terms of
How about the other? Sorry.
But generally, for
Right.
us, we are second to none. We don't think we have everybody. We're the first school in Tema, you know. And at that time, there wasn't any other school there. So we still know that we are the best, the first and the only. Well, the other ones are other schools, which came later, you know. So we don't see them as rivals, or no rivals at all.
Okay. So now, I mean, it's when it comes to sports, is the music that, you know, brings the vibe, isn't it? Do you remember your anthem, for instance? Are you familiar with your? Could you sing? Let me hear the anthem that was defeated a couple of times by Was.
the school anthem.
They use more of Jama songs, you know.
Yeah.
That's what
Well, actually, yeah, because for sports it's normally Jama. Yeah,
that's Jama songs, and they're very loud, and no, we were not. Some people were.
Hey, you were bougie. You were bougie. I like bougie. Actually, I like bougie.
Yeah, so we really tried to sing songs that, will not land us into any trouble.
Right.
For example, we had Aba fo obile nane Aba wojo.
Ooh, I like it.
Koto ya kobile mamiake Aba fo obile nane Aba wojo.
But you know, in my time,
Yeah.
we would sing because we were intercollegiates, and we had Accra Girls, we had Achimota, and we had Accra Academy.
Right.
We had quite a number of the schools, and we would sing about them. Wana bebao, agisko bebao, achiko bebao, yes, wana beba, wana beba. But that's only when we are sitting
very bougie. That's a very bougie you're singing.
That's when we have climbed into our school trucks and
Yeah,
we are going home.
Oh, that's why you are going home.
Is it?
We never
fancy lawyer. Give me something.
Oh. Do I remember? Let's see. Can you remind me of anyone?
Oh dear. But there were other competitions, so beyond the sports, whether they're into debates.
Debates, yes.
Right.
Who was
Kwesi Pratt.
Yes.
Our own Kwesi Pratt.
Yes.
He was your debater.
Yes, very. I remember very well. He enjoyed debating a lot,
Yes.
and I'm not surprised that he's in the media.
We are
now,
not surprised.
Yeah, you know, the school is really doing well when
Right.
it comes to debate. But since we have a rival school now that is really challenging us, and we want to make sure we overtake them, and that's Chemu Secondary School.
Chemu
When it
Secondary
comes to
School.
debate.
Really?
Yeah, so that
Look
is
at my
the
cameraman
problem
nodding
that
his
we
head.
have.
You know this. I see. But
Yeah.
did you go to Chemu? You're an old student.
Wow.
Wow.
That's great. It's a great school.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I see your head, expanding already.
Oh wow, I didn't even know this. Wow. Right. So Chemu is your competition on the
yeah.
debating.
Whatever
So-
now,
Oh, we have
We
to
are
get the
trying
old
all
people
the
to come
best
in and
to
give
make
some
sure
lessons.
we come up. We
Right.
overtake them because they
Right.
came to meet us in
Right.
Terma.
Right.
So we have to overtake
Please
them.
overtake them.
Yeah, we will.
When they come here, so I'll tell them to overtake you. You know, just so we keep it lively.
See? Just to keep it all alive.
Just to keep it
and
lively, it's
now
important.
going.
Let's talk about our program lineup, and this is how we'll end our conversation. What do we have planned for Tamasco at 60? At 60,
We started yesterday
right?
where we had Damasco went green. Yeah, the planting of trees and then hedges on the campus. And then today, being 23rd, there's going to be debate and games in the school.
My favorite.
And then on Wednesday, that's November 24th, there's also going to be the exhibition and games. There's a continuation of the games, as well as Thursday 25th, a mentoring section by the ambassador of France to Ghana. And then Friday, there will be homecoming, and then as well as drama and
Ooh,
bonfire.
sounds exciting. Sounds exciting.
Yeah. On Saturday, that will be the grand day for us. That's the speech and prize giving day on Saturday. And then on Sunday, we're going to have our worship, praise and thanksgiving service as well.
And all of this is happening.
At the school.
school.
At the school.
School, yeah.
Yes.
From what time to what time?
In the school grounds.
We are starting exactly at 10 a.m.
10
The
a.m.
program today
The
starts
program.
at 10.
10 a.m.
Yes,
And then it carries through
yes.
till in the evening, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Till in the evening. This is so impressive. So you are dedicating your whole week to the school,
To the
isn't it?
school,
Yes.
exactly.
Yes.
And
Wow.
involved in the games. We have TOSA teams in all the games.
Wow.
Football and the basketball and everything. We have the
Wow.
TOSA team there.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Because of this, I'm going back to join my old girls.
You should.
Yeah.
Do
It all sounds so exciting. And
you really feel good when you know that
Right.
you're going back to your alma
Yes.
mater. The school that helped you to be what you are.
That's
Trying to
right.
help them, you really feel good about it.
right. You're giving back,
Back,
in the way that
exactly.
matters.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
In the way that matters. God bless you. God bless
God
you.
bless
all.
you too.
God bless you all.
Thank
And
you.
thank you.
Thank you
so
very much.
much.
Thank you for
so
having
very
us.
much
too.
too.
Absolutely. Anytime.
We
You just
appreciate
walk
it.
here and say, let's do a show.
Thank you.
That will
Thank
be
you very much.
wonderful.
Thank you too. Thank you too.
Thank
So,
you.
viewers, you know that from yesterday. So yesterday you couldn't go. Don't worry. So from today, the Tuesday, it's evening. So still you've missed today. But from Wednesday, November 24th, 2021, till Sunday, November 28th, 2021, the place to be is Tema Secondary School. Especially if you're an old student like the cameraman behind this camera. You need to make your way there. I need to join. What year? 2019. See, this is modern. This is modern. This is modern.
These old
So
women sitting here talking.
exhibition and games, mentoring sessions, homecoming, drama and bonfire, the speech and prize giving day, praise, worship and thanksgiving service. You do not want to miss all of these activities that have been planned for Tema Secondary School at 60. At 60.
Yeah.
Stay on, the
We
show
are blessed.
continues. Absolutely.
We are
Absolutely.
blessed.
Thank you very
Whatever the occasion, with ATL, you can never be out of style. ATL, bringing fabric to life.
Welcome back from the break. If you are just joining in this evening, we are talking events, so amazing events coming up that should interest you, events that should have you pick your pen and your paper, jot down the date so that you can show up and have a great time. That's what we are doing this evening. So we've already dealt with the Tamasco at 60, squad anchorite. They just left. Next, we have the Minerals Commission, Rapport Services, and the Jewelries Association of Ghana, with an upcoming event. That's the Gold Statement Exhibition, Conference, and Jewelry Show. I love the show already. Now, with me in the studio to have this conversation, to talk about this event, is Mr. Jonathan Abebu, and he is president of the Jewelries Association of Ghana. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
It's great to see you.
It's good to meet you.
You see, but president of Jewelries Association of Ghana, I was expecting you to show up with the bling and, no?
Well, I'm very conservative, but I have something on to show.
It's great to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
I'm sure that you are every lady's best friend.
Yes, when it comes to jewelry.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you know that we love our jewelry.
Yes, I do that. I do know that. And,
Right.
Once people hear or get to know that you create, jewelry, they go all
Yes, like
excited.
I'm going all excited right now, and I'm going to keep you and harass you, and all the great, wonderful things.
Yeah.
It's great to meet you.
Nice to
It's great.
meet
So there's a vibrant jewelry association.
Yes,
I
there
didn't know
is.
that. Talk to me about that first.
Okay, so we've had a jewelry association which has been around for a while, but at some point it kind of went dormant because a lot of the jewelers were facing challenges with regard to getting raw material to work, getting equipment, and the myriad of problems that the industry was facing. And we realized that if we don't band together as a strong body and advocate for certain changes to take place in the industry, that the industry was gradually dying out. And there's so many art forms that were handed down from sort of our grandfathers who were in the trade, which were gradually disappearing. And we thought this is very wrong, because that's the history of a people, and once we lose our history, we lose our way. So we got together and started advocating for a stronger jewelry association, and now we have a lot more people on board. They are a lot more encouraged that things are being done for them. And fortunately, the president has actually been pioneering or pushing the Made in Ghana agenda, you know, and they've realized that gold is one thing that we've been shipping out in the raw state. We have all that raw material here, and yet we are not turning it into finished products.
Yeah.
You know, so it's been an issue that has been at our hearts, and we're pushing. Unfortunately, the government is also listening, and so the wheels are turning slowly, but gradually things are beginning to happen.
It's turning.
Yes,
you know, the most important thing is that it turns.
But sometimes it turns too slowly.
I know. So I mean, how does one become a member of the association? I'm sorry that I'm staying on you for a bit, because you're the only one here.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have the Minerals Commission here. We don't have rapport services. We have you. So let's utilize.
Okay,
you know,
that's fine.
How does one become a member of this association? Why should one become a member of this association?
One becomes a member of the association by being a jeweler and registering with the association. Now, there are a lot of jewelers in the system, but not all of them are with the association. Gradually, they're beginning to appreciate the need to be with the association, which is advocating more for things that the jewelers need to make their work a lot more easier, and the whole idea is trying to put them more on an international platform. Over the years, a lot of the raw gold has been shipped out, and the various countries that are making jewelry and using the gold that is coming from Ghana to project their image. Why do we sit back and not use the gold we have here to project our image? Are we always going to ship out in the raw state? There are people here who are really talented, who come up with very creative pieces, and yet don't have the platform to push their things on the international market. Once we do things properly here, get it properly registered, getting responsibly mined gold and using it, once we start pushing that agenda, it would put us on a better footing to place our works out there on the international market.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So now let's talk about this marriage between the Minerals Commission, the rapport services, and the Jewelries Association of Ghana. Is this a marriage? Is it a marriage of convenience? Is it a concubine relationship? I mean, what's happening here?
It's a working partnership, if I will put it that way. Minerals Commission oversees the minerals, you know, that are out there. So they oversee the bodies that mine and ensure that, you know, gold is mined responsibly out here. Rapport Services has been a very strong advocate for the jewelers and doing things in promoting jewelry in the country. So that's how the sort of the arrangement works. So we support each other in one way or the other.
Okay. So what is this conference? The Gold Statement Exhibition Conference and Jewelry Show. What is it? What's the aim? What are you trying to do with it?
Yeah, so the Gold Statement is basically providing a platform for all those in the gold working industry, especially the jewelers, bringing them together under one roof and exhibiting their works, because a lot of the jewelers, as I would put it, more cottage industry sort of arrangements in smaller places. And so let's say someone comes into the country and says, look, I want to make some jewelry. There's PMMC, which is a government owned. But when they're looking for private jewelers, they're all in, you know, smaller, with a few shops that are on the high street, and a lot of them are foreign owned. Now the emphasis is more on local industry, building up the industry for Ghanaians. So those who are locally trained and are working but don't have the platform to exhibit their work, this is a time to bring them to the fore and let them have a feel, let people have a feel of what is made out there. There's so many talented smaller jewelers, you know, in small corners. They have their clientele, but we feel that it's about time that they are opened up to a wider spectrum of clientele.
Wow. Wow. When is this?
It's starting on the 25th
25th
of November.
Right.
Yeah, and it's running through to the 27th. So the 25th is the opening, you know, and we'll have some dignitaries coming through, the Minister of Trade and Industry, Minister for Lands, and a few dignitaries, the chiefs will be coming in. And then on the 26th, we're going to be having a training program for the jewelers. That's sort of introducing them to new marketing, you know, avenues, upgrading their skills, and you know, making them more attractive to the international market.
Right. And then the 28th?
On the 27th.
On the 27th.
And on the 27th is also the jewelry show continues, and then there's going to be a dinner and gala night and a catwalk where we'll have some exquisite jewelry on show.
Ooh, that's what I like.
So, yeah. I mean,
now you have my attention.
Yes, we're going to be showing, you know, talented young jewelers out there who'll be exhibiting their work. So it's going to be a dinner, and during the dinner there'll be some good music, live band music, and then there'll be the catwalk.
And then there'll be the exhibition of the jewelry.
Yes, the jewelry.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
How do I, because I know that I can't be present for the 25th.
It's going to be a lovely night, actually.
Of course it's going to be a lovely night.
Once you experience it, you know, you would love it. And I'm sure you'd come. You can get the tickets. You can call 0244 370 207. Yeah, and you can
so
arrange
that's 0244 370 207.
Yeah.
Right. You can call this number.
Yes, you can call that number
get the ticket.
and arrange. There's another number. Can I get it from my phone?
Oh, of course. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I wasn't sure whether it would be cut.
Feel free. It's the couch. You know, feel free. So relaxed on the couch.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, but then it's open to everybody.
Yes, it's open to everyone. Yeah.
Everyone can get a ticket. Look good, and just come in and have a lovely evening and enjoy some good jewelry as well. So is it live?
And you can place your order. You can place orders. You know, because each jeweler would be showcased.
Right.
You know, and so when they come on the catwalk, they will explain the jewelry, the concept behind what the how the jewelry was made, and if you're interested, it can be tweaked to suit your taste.
Right. So proper tailor-made.
Yes, jewelry.
I like.
Yeah.
I really like. But you know, generally, and this to just have a general conversation outside of the conference.
Let me give you the other number.
Absolutely.
It's 024 117 111.
Okay, so that's 024
Yeah.
117 111. 024 117 111. Okay, great stuff. Why? It almost seems like a very lame question, but I'll still ask. Gold is very expensive, you know?
Yes, gold is very expensive. We know that gold is a raw material that's highly sought after the world over. Most economies use it as a backing for their finances. So what it is that when the world markets or when the stock markets are not doing too well, people go into what we call a safe haven investment, and gold is one area where people move into. So it's a commodity that is highly sought after. Forecasts show that the price will still rise. You know, so there's not much you can do about it. It's priced internationally, so generally, and it's dollar indexed, and I'll come to that as well, because on the local markets, jewelers have a major problem, and that's where we've been advocating for government to do something about. Because what happens is a lot of jewelers are dealing or buying against what the international market forecasts. Now we have forecast buyers on the market. So let's say as of today, an ounce of gold is selling for say $2,800. A forecast buyer will be willing to pay $2,820 because he knows that probably in a month or two he can offload it for $2,900. Now in the case of the jeweler, he needs to buy the gold here and now to use for work. He's dealing with someone who's got the gold, But unfortunately, he's also bidding against a forecast buyer who is willing to pay $20 more.
More.
Who do you think it will be sold to? So it becomes an issue where you either decide to pay the price that forecast buyers are paying, or you lose out. So that's why we've been advocating that at least 5% of our total produce of gold be reserved on the local market, so that the raw material will be readily and easily available to the jewelers for work. Thankfully, Bank of Ghana has started buying some gold as reserves, and that's a good start, you know. And gradually, as they build the reserves, we would also begin to appreciate why we need to use gold to back our currency. I mean, if you take a country like India, for instance, they don't joke with the gold they buy. Every family, when there's a ceremony, especially when it comes to marriages, you have to buy some gold for the bride. And apart from that, sometimes in the wealthy ones, they buy for the families, the whole family. You know, we used to do that back in the day. We used to have family heirlooms where people kept gold in the family heirlooms. But unfortunately, somehow we lost track, and rather than building on the wealth, people are selling off the family heirlooms. So families end up with nothing at all, which is really sad. We need to start.
I honestly don't think it's a thing now. I don't think that family heirlooms are a thing now, are they? Like somebody
there are some families
on and handing over
yes
gold.
There are some families that do that, but it's not as widespread as it used to be during our, let's say, our great grandfathers and our grandmothers' times.
But it was such a great, you know,
it was good. It was good, so that people valued. Yes, it was cultural. It had that significance, you know, and people treasured them, you know, and they passed stories down to their children and great grandchildren about it. So there's this sort of you know, more like I don't know how to put it, but there's reverence about those pieces, you know, because this is a piece that was given to me by my great grand father, and all the stories that go with it was passed on to the next generation, and that is something we don't have at the moment. So we need to start looking at building.
Have money, you see.
I've always believed that wealth is a state of mind. If you think that you're poor, you can't think beyond a certain threshold. But if we change our state of mind, a lot of things will change for us. So we really need to start reorienting the way we think, you know, because we have, unfortunately, sorry to say, a poverty mentality. Even the little things that we keep,
poverty-stricken pockets.
No, we tend to sell off. So you see, you may have someone in the family who has access to a family heirloom. In actual fact, that thing may be, you know, in Europe they have a show called the Antiques Show.
Yes.
Where people bring out things, and you know, people sort of price for them. Some of these things, the value that they hold, we have no idea, and yet people sell it off for a pittance. You know, and that is what the poverty mentality does to us. We should not be selling our birthright.
Wow. And if it doesn't exist, perhaps we should start thinking of creating it.
Yes, if we start creating it
and passing it
on,
on.
the next generations will build on it.
Right.
You know, so we need to start talking about some of these things and opening ourselves up to more possibilities when it comes to things like creating family heirlooms for the next generation.
I'm happy we had this conversation. It's giving me some ideas. It's giving me some ideas.
You can start small, you know.
Of course, I'd have to start small.
Yes,
We haven't
start small and then build on it.
We're talking about gold. But before you leave us, Mr. Abibi, what would you want to, you know, sort of your parting words? Tell us.
Oh, we want people to come through and have a feel of what is made on the local market.
Right.
There are brilliant minds and brilliant designers and a lot of young jewelers out there who are coming up with very interesting and great pieces. And so we entreat people to come through and have a feel, have discussions, and also people get to see the tools and tools that are used to make jewelry. So you can ask questions, and sometimes people even want to go into the industry.
I was going to say, if
and they don't have a clue of where to start from.
Right.
Coming through there would give you an idea of who to talk to, where to start from.
But is it a lucrative business?
It is. It is. And the good thing is that, we have a lot of unemployment in our system.
We do.
And it doesn't take much to learn how to do these things. You can start from maybe just being a bench worker. Some people are naturally gifted, very brilliant designers. Some people haven't been that far in school, but are very good with probably drawing. But drawing doesn't have to be your strong point. If you're good at the bench, you can pierce well. You can be trained to come up with very interesting pieces.
Would there be like the bigger ones that are willing to take on, people who do not have the capital?
Yes. There'll be people who will be willing to take on. Some people want to learn how to make jewelry.
Right. So good stuff all around.
So it's more like an apprenticeship.
Right.
From the start.
Right. I'm happy we had this conversation. So the number to use would be 0244 370-207. That's 0244 370-207, or 024-117-111. That's 024-117-111. And you want to call these numbers so you get your ticket for the 25th to the 27th for the Gold Statement Exhibition Conference and Jewelry
The ticket
show.
is for the 27th.
The ticket is for the 27th, the 27th event.
25th and 26th is open. You can just
those
come
ones
through.
are free?
Yeah, it's free. You can just come through.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
It's not,
so
it's
the
not
25th, 26th, free event.
Yeah, it's a
Where?
free event at the Marriott Hotel.
Hey, bougie. Bougie, Mr. Baby.
No, it's not.
At the Marriott Hotel.
Yeah, it's
Come around what
convenient.
time?
It's a convenient
Very
location.
convenient for gold.
Yeah, it starts in the morning from 10 o'clock.
10 in the morning.
It's a whole day.
A whole day event.
Yeah.
So from 10 in the morning on the 25th and the 26th,
Yeah.
you can show up at the Marriott
and
and
just
see
come
that I'm
have a
coming
look.
for the
Yeah.
Gold Statement
Yeah.
exhibition. Great stuff. It's great to meet you, sir.
And on the 27th is the gala night, and that's
You didn't even
when
tell
you
us
come
about the
through.
music. Live band. Are there any artists that we know? Is there a band that's performing?
Yeah, I know there's a live band. I don't have the details of.
Xavier, you don't like
who-
dancing. That's the problem. You see, if you're like me, you would
Well,
ask about the band. It's very important.
Okay, I would get that information, especially for you.
Especially for me.
Yeah.
Right. And food.
Yes, there's going to be good food.
Good
lot
food,
of good
of
food.
course, by the
and a lot to
Marriott.
drink. Yeah.
Right.
Marriott Hotel.
Right.
So
Good stuff.
I'm sure you know the standards of Marriott.
Oh,
so.
I said bougie. I said that from the beginning. I said that from me. So thank you, sir, for coming.
Thank you.
The relevance of gold, and you've of course you said it brilliantly and eloquently. It's not just the jewelry. It goes beyond that for us as African people. It's about our heritage,
It's our
isn't
heritage,
it?
yeah,
It's our
it
culture,
is.
it's our tradition. So I'm taking gold a little bit more seriously after this conversation. I hope that you watching me, you will take good a little bit more seriously. Go for those events, but also get yourself a family heirloom. Start creating it.
Start building a family.
Absolutely. And pass it
It's
on to
important.
person. Very important. I'm taking your number after this.
Okay.
I am. Thank you, sir, for coming.
You're
Thank you for watching. We're not done. Stay with us. Stay with us.
Whatever the occasion, with ATL, you can never be out of style. ATL, bringing fabric to life.
Welcome back from the break. Today's an awesome day. Today I'm having great conversations. And, now I have the Institute for Gender Research, Education and Development, IGRED, with me in the studio. I'll take that again. That's the Institute for Gender Research, Education and Development, IGRED, in the studio. And we are talking about mental health intervention in schools. Mental health interventions in school. Now, this is so important for a lot of reasons, and I say this often that my passion is gender, but every now and then this issue of mental health comes up. And if you're like me, it's something that should really truly concern you, because of all the listen, I talk too much, the experts are here. Let me introduce the experts. So with me now, I have Noeline Mensah, CEO, Institute for Gender Research, Education and Development. Hey, boo!
Hi.
And of course, there's Roxanne Buxton Kofi, founder of Dance for Mental Health. Hey, boo!
Hi.
Hi. It's great to see you, ladies.
It's wonderful to be here.
You can tell that I'm excited, right?
Yes, you are.
Yes, I'm very
too,
excited.
yeah.
It's infectious.
I'm happy that I've infected you
Yeah.
with it. Now, mental health is so tricky. And I was telling you before we came on, it's such a tricky sport. I don't know if I overthink it. Please feel free to tell me, Madam, calm down, when you think I'm going a little.
I will.
Because it's so tricky, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I think it's because you wouldn't be the only person feeling this way. A lot of us wouldn't want to get into it because there's a lot of stigma around it, and also the stigma is because we don't know much about it. Much hasn't been said about mental health. And when we hear mental health, we only think of the extreme negatives, like the, excuse me to say, madness, the, talking, all the weird aspects of mental health. But mental health entails a lot. It's a broad scope of many things. So I believe there's nothing wrong with how you're feeling. It's just a matter of more conversations and making it more mainstream, and then it will be okay. It's not that scary. No.
Right. Because in a space of time, and I'm struggling with words, forgive me.
Yeah.
We've been as a people, as Ghanaians, we've been exposed to it in dramatic forms.
Yeah.
Haven't we?
Yeah.
All the issues that bring it to the fore are very dramatic.
Yes.
For instance, this one with the lady that feigned her own pregnancy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? And had us all wondering, thinking she had been kidnapped. And then suddenly we hear, oh no, it's actually
A
mental health
issue.
There was a time when one woman had said she had been kidnapped and raped, a couple of years back.
Which wasn't true.
Later it turns out, again, mental health.
Okay.
So very dramatic happenings. And like I was asking you before, like I'm saying, perhaps I'm overthinking it.
Yes.
Because then the question then becomes, when do we draw the distinction between, and does that make your work even more difficult?
Okay, so I will start by just putting a little light on what mental health means.
Right.
When we say mental health in basic terms is one's ability to cope with life. One's ability to use their brain functions to cope with life. It sounds weird because I'm sure a lot of people think that, okay, mental health is mental disorder or mental illness. The common denominator here is mental. So when you hear mental, then it must be negative, but it's not so. Mental health is basically mental wellness. Now, when our ability to cope with life ranges from, 0 to 100. Some people, in the face of stress, they are able to withstand, they're able to carry on their normal life activities. Some are not able to at all. Some will, sleep a lot. Some will drink. Some will engage in other vices. And then we have also the disorder. The disorder is usually a biological condition or a medical condition. It has to be diagnosed by a practitioner. And what we know in mainstream is just the disorders. And that's why when mental health is mentioned, everybody thinks about the disorders. And that's why when someone is acting in a weird way and we say, oh, they have a mental health issue, it's easier to accept. But if maybe I'm feeling stressed, or I'm just tired, or I'm not in the mood, I'm in the foul mood, and maybe I say I feel a little bit stressed, or I feel a little bit depressed, then there's stigma. Like, we feel, oh no, you must have a disorder, there's something wrong with you. But it's in so many different ranges, and the only one that we know is the disorder. That's why there's a lot of confusion.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
So there's the extreme end.
Yeah, it's a spectrum,
right?
Yeah,
but then we go through it in different forms.
Stress, there's trauma,
down.
yes, there's trauma, there's disorder, and then there's stress. Stress is usually called distress. Yes, so it's just one way of coping. Someone can even have a mental health illness and still be able to cope better, to have a positive mental health. So having maybe schizophrenia, that is usually the common one that people refer to as this madness. I hate to use madness, but you can have schizo or bipolar disorder. A lot of people know that. And with proper management and regulation, you can still have positive mental health. Yes. So
right. So I'm happy that this interests you this much.
Yes.
And reading through this, you talk about prioritizing mental health in our society, and essentially what you seek to do is to engage and to promote mental health awareness, provide some sort of emotional support, through education, religious, corporate sectors, and all of that. And for me, what is the most important perhaps is the encouragement, this thing about encouraging society to embrace professional mental health care support and wellness activities. It's so important. I can think why, but why is it this important to IGRED?
Yes, I believe we cannot detach humans from the mental side of our life, and when things are wrong with our physical body, it's really easy to identify and address it. And we are so quick to run to doctors, to nurses, to our drugstores, our pharmacists, to seek help when something is happening to our bodies that we find the words to describe it. Because we can easily identify. But when something is wrong with us on the inside, even to find the words to explain your experience, it's hard. And we have not really been conditioned to take it seriously, the things that happen within us. And the unfortunate thing is that what happens within us has a lot of impact on what happens outside us. So that is why we believe mental health should be prioritized, because most of the things that happen to our bodies, if we could investigate what is going on the inside, then sometimes we can really address what's going on the outside as well. Sometimes people go through some sort of ailment. I went through it, I think, after Corona. I felt sick. I even ended up taking x-rays of my brain and stuff. I thought there was something wrong with me. But then I ended up finding out it was just stress. It was just stress. I wasn't given any medicine, but I was terribly sick. I couldn't move, but it was just stress. So we are trying to make people understand that what goes on in your mind actually does control your body as well. So if you don't pay attention to it as much as you pay attention to a sore on your leg, it can have crucial impact on you. And as we don't have the right language as individuals to even talk about it, or the right tools, and we haven't been exposed to so much information that will really help us to understand ourselves and what we are going through. It is important that we see therapists, we see professionals, because they have been educated in that area, they have learned a lot, and they understand these things. So going to these people, they will help us understand ourselves, our experiences, and find out root causes of what is going on with us, and help us to come out of it. So yeah, this is why we prioritize it, and especially for iGrade, much of our focus is on children, because of all the age brackets in the society. I would say that children are the least that are, you know, considered when it comes to mental health, because we feel adults have a lot of problems. Dad has to pay school fees, maybe mom has to go to the market, elder brothers have to do this, elder sisters have to do that, but the young ones, we feel they have no struggle. Now, school fees, so what could really be the problem of a child?
Right.
But children go through it. The youth go through it, and we have cases, especially after Corona, or during Corona period, we had cases of children going suicidal, actually committing suicide. There were so many cases of that. So one would ask, what at all could be wrong with a child to the point that they would like to take their own lives? So it really points to an issue that is happening. It is with us, and we should be able to face it and address it. Yes, because it really does have an impact on everything else that we do.
It's so important.
It is
what she says.
It is.
And I remember, I think a couple of weeks back, I remember one of my colleagues coming to me and expressing, you know, he said to me, "I'm sick. I'm very, very sick." And I said, "What's wrong with you?" He said, I don't know. I said, "Go home and sleep."
Yes.
It's all I said to him. I said, "Go home and sleep."
Yeah.
Because sometimes, like you're saying, there's no where you
and it's the culture
where
sometimes, it's our cultures and traditions. Like in Africa especially, when it's got to do with the mind, we mystify it because we can't really see it. So it becomes a spiritual problem or a religious one. And instead of maybe seeing the required professional personnel, we would rather go to other spiritual sources that may not have the requisite skills to address it. So it's, and then when you go to a therapist too, they'll say, "Oh, that's like white people problem. Therapy is for the West.
I like to pause you here. So I'm going through it. I know that all is not well with me. If you say professional, who do I go to? Do I go to my normal
okay, so
general practitioner? You know,
so usually when you go to a general hospital, you will ask for the psychiatric unit, and then they will talk to you.
Charlie, who is going to psychiatric unit?
No, so you see, that is that's a stigma. That's a stigma. That's the stigma.
Why am I going to psychiatric unit?
That's a stigma.
No, please, thank you.
Because we kind of outlier people who are going through psychiatric issues or challenges, but these are still normal people who live normal lives. If, let's say, for instance, you have high blood pressure, or maybe, God forbid, cancer, you can easily go to the hospital, seek for what, like it's okay, right? But and you can still have a normal life so far as you are managing it, going through your therapy, your chemo and everything. But the moment you have maybe bipolar or maybe schizo or maybe eating disorders or whatnot, then now you don't want anyone to know about it, but you are causing yourself harm. Like, why is it okay to accept that, okay, you can seek help for cancer, but then you don't want to accept that you can seek help for something going on in your mind? And also, there is a difference between psychotherapy and psychiatry. Okay, so the psychiatry is when you are dealing with the biological ones, like when it becomes a medically diagnosed condition. But then it doesn't mean that when you are going through common stress, you can also see a psychiatrist. They are medical doctors, and they have all the information to properly direct you to maybe, okay, maybe you need a counselor, or maybe you need a therapist, or maybe you just need a support group. It's okay, really, because if I have diabetes or anything, I'm going to see a doctor, I just want to see a doctor. Maybe that doctor will later direct me to maybe a surgeon or whatever. I'm not afraid that, no, I don't want to see a doctor because like so it's the mindset that we've been conditioned into, that the moment you mention something about mental health, then you are doomed. But it's not true, and that's why we are trying to create this awareness, because with the awareness comes the information, and with enough information we are well positioned to really use the right language and be kind to ourselves, because some people lock themselves up in the room and they are going through something that could easily be solved by just talking to someone, just talking to the right person, but they will not risk it because they don't want people to think that there is something wrong with them and they are mad and they are and their jobs were at stake, their careers, their family, their relationship. It's a lot.
It's your wellness.
Everything.
Wellness.
Yes.
Because there are some issues that go on in the workplace, and you know that somebody's troubled from somewhere else.
Yes.
This has nothing to do with what's happening here. You know, some people are just like a ticking time bomb at some point in their life, and everything's irritating him, and he's so angry, and you know that something is not right.
And even far from just the condition, just the normal day-to-day activities, like I said, mental health is the ability to cope with life stresses. Stress is always going to be part of life. How are you coping? That is how we check your mental health, because you can't run away from your mental health. It is our level of mental health that is enabling us to have this conversation. It's because we are in our right senses of mind or thinking, that's why we are able to have this discourse. So with children, like she said, in like students, teenagers especially, they are really discarded. Like, we don't really regard them in any way, and then even when they end up dying by suicide, we still bash them. Yes, you'll be a man broken hearts. So we're still not helping, but then children are going through it. Children are going through it.
Right. Okay, so how are you going about this? Because this is a lot.
Yes,
how are you going about this?
Well, mainly advocacy. We are trying to remove the stigma attached to it, to minimize it. And this is being done by talking about it more, by making people understand that it's not as scary as we think it is. It is not as taboo as we think it is. And by making people see it this way, then if somebody gets up, recognizes they don't feel okay, and they want to go see a psychotherapist or psychiatrist, then the next person will be like, for them to feel like, let me just avoid people pointing fingers at me. So, you know, my baby. And people stay in their rooms, they stay in their problems, and the worst happens sometimes. So we are doing it through advocacy, and we are using schools most of the time, because at the school level we are able to access children, youth, numbers. At a secondary school you can have like 2,000 students. Means we have access to so many people that we are talking to, and if you empower one person, that person tends to empower the next person, their family, and that is empowering a whole generation. So that is how we are taking it. And also support groups. We haven't done so much on that level because, like you are saying, it's the work is huge. So
and the fear is there. People don't even want to be.
They don't even want to.
I actually think we need a whole show for this.
I think we do.
We need to break it down. All the different. So right here, can we schedule for another one? Can we schedule? Let's sit down and talk mental health. For an hour and a half. Can we do that?
Gladly.
Right?
Sure.
So we'll do that. We'll do that because it's a lot of issues, and it affects every single one of us.
In fact, like with this our advocacy, we are not just targeting the student, but teachers as well.
Right.
Because these teachers are responsible for these kids for the period like for which they are in school, and they are vulnerable to them. So if a teacher is not really in his right state of mind or is not coping well with stress, imagine they will project onto the kids.
I think I can even think about some teachers
Oh,
now,
definitely.
yes, who were projecting.
Oh, definitely. It's hard. Oh, everybody. It's hard. It must be hard being a teacher.
Right. Okay, so we are coming back.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely coming back next week Tuesday.
Yes.
Next week Tuesday.
Oh.
Next week Tuesday, guys.
Okay, I mean, we will. Oh, that's so spot on.
Yes.
I'm right here.
Yes, right here on the show. Let's talk about it. Next week Tuesday.
Okay, sure.
Right, and next week Tuesday we are dedicating the show to mental health.
Right.
You know, and all the information that we need. So we are good.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, so you want to catch us next week Tuesday, same time on the show, and that whole show will be on mental health. And specifically, these two organizations and what they are doing about it. That's the Institute for Gender Research, Education and Development, IGRED, and Dance for Men. I love your name, by the way. Dance for Mental Health. It's nice.
So that means next week we'll be dancing. Yes.
See.
Since
I got you.
Since you called for
Yes. So yes, I'm hitting you with that one.
No problem. But it's been great having you both, here. It's been great. I love what you're doing. You know, it's awesome. Like I was telling you, I find it's a lot. I find it's a lot. The people who take it on, kudos.
And we need your support.
Absolutely. You have it. Listen, we are doing a whole show next week. Charlie, we're definitely coming back. And then we can see what we can all do, because we need to build a better society.
Yes,
we need to.
All
hands on it. Thank you, ladies.
Thank
you to you, Roxanne Books and Kofi, and of course to you, Noel and Mensa. I told you I've been looking for you.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Don't go. Last segment coming up shortly. Stay with us.
Whatever the occasion, with ATL, you can never be out of style. ATL, bringing fabric to life.
Welcome back to the show. This is the last leg of, tonight's show. It's been a marathon. It's been an awesome marathon. So next up is the African Transformational Project. And, they are organizing the African Business Summit. You know that I love summits. With me in the studio is Afiba Harrison. Hello. And Afiba happens to be a member of the publicity team. Hi, Afiba.
Hello, Ama.
Tell me about the summit.
Thanks for having us, and good evening to your viewers.
Right.
The summit is a flagship program of the African Transformational Project. It's part of its larger agenda and objective to ensure that people of African descent are trained to be competitive in terms of business, in terms of intellect, and socially. So this is one aspect of the organizational goal in ensuring that people within Africa and diaspora are well trained to be able to compete on a global front in terms of business. And that's why it's the African Business Summit. It's happening 27th of this month on Saturday at 9 a.m. We are looking forward to be seated by exactly 8:30. It's going to have great speakers. Petra is speaking Yes, Petra is built to
Petra
speak.
Ava Asamoah.
Yes, and other amazing speakers you would want to come and learn from.
Give us some names. Give us some names.
We have Maximus Ametego. He's a digital strategist. We have speakers who are into social media management. We have Petra herself being a marketer and an author of several books. So we have a lot of wonderful speakers built for the event on 27th of November.
This summit, off the top of my head, it's so important because as a people, do we not normally sort of see ourselves as less globally? You know, for whatever reason, the Ghanaian African business person seems to think that I'm disadvantaged. So we come to the conversation always thinking that, oh, we are the underdog. And from my experience, that then sort of limits us in our outputs. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You are right to a very large extent, and it speaks to our own perceptions of ourselves.
Right.
But when you come to the AFTP, we've also concluded, after doing some socio economic analysis, that there's a huge gap in terms of capabilities, in terms of skills. Okay, and that in itself contributes to how we perceive ourselves. That seems to be inferior to what other people are doing out there. So these are some of the challenges we've identified. So the inferiority and all the negative feeling Africans have of themselves are not isolated, kind of situation. There is a root cause, and that's what we are trying to solve, that using some of these programs, which should in the nearest future come in the form of trainings, more trainings or such, to bring Africans in the limelight.
Where's the gap? There has to be something creating that gap somewhere. Is it in our culture? Is it in our educational system? Where do you think that gap is coming from?
I think you would believe with me that it's cut across, because if you look at what we are heading, okay, in terms of our economic and socio-economic dynamics, and it's more geared towards a skilled set, like you would need skills to be relevant in the kind of economy we are approaching. And that's why you hear conversation on, oh, you have to be entrepreneurs, you have to after school, There's also a bit of the kind of education we are receiving, more or less another gap in the kind of theoretical education happening in the system and the practically oriented skills needed to succeed in the world of business. So that exists. And there is also an issue of cultural perceptions, how we've, you just mentioned it, how we perceive ourselves, our upbringing. If you grow in a society where you don't see people leading in business, you don't see people doing what the 21st century person is doing, then it would largely affect how you perform in an environment that demands high skill set. So that's what we're trying to solve at AFTP, and this might not be an entire, solution to most of the problems,
but it would definitely
go a very long
help.
way. It's a whole package, and this is actually a maiden launch. So I want people to even look us up in our various platforms and see what we have on board for the African people.
Right. So if I want to come to this event, how do I do that?
So you can make sure that you are following up on our activities via our social media platforms. We are on Facebook at Transform Africa, Instagram, Twitter, the Africans Project. You can find us there. You can also register. We have our links all over the platforms. You can also contact us. I'll give my personal line out at 054 2299 When you call me, I'll link you up.
Please give the number again.
054 2299 I'll link you up with the organizers and the people in charge of registration. They will help you out with all your inquiries regarding attending the program.
Right. Is it a free event? Is it a paid event?
It's free, Ama.
That is
that is amazing about this. It's very free. You just need to be there and benefit from people who have the experience on what is happening in the job market. So it's free like that. We are thinking about the people. It's the whole organization is a project by Africans for Africa. So of course it's free.
I love what you're doing.
Thank you so much.
I love what you're doing, because as a people, we don't seem ready for this global space. You know, so we sort of shut ourselves, you know, in our corner, and we all say, "Oh, globalization, data, and all of that."
It's far from us.
Exactly.
We think,
but it's not, is it?
Not at all. It's
right
really
here.
near. It's with us.
It's happening. So we have to
With
catch up.
us. Yeah,
We
we
do
have
have to
to.
catch up.
We have to. African Transformation Project wants us to, so we should.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And thank you for this. Any other events planned?
There will be subsequent events
right.
coming up, and like I said, please check on our pages, find out what is happening. But we'll keep you updated, and we hope Ama will have us on her platform to tell you more about what we're doing.
Anytime.
Thank
I'm
you.
ready when you are.
Thank you.
I'm ready when you are.
Thank you for having us today.
No problem at all.
All right.
So thank you for coming. Give the number one last time, then we're out.
The number is 054-2299-625, and I will link you up with all the necessary people you need to talk to about the summit.
African Business Summit.
Exactly.
Good stuff. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Well, this has been our show. So 4 events. Don't forget, 4 events. All lined up, you know, coming up, the African Business Summit. We've spoken about the, you know, gold exhibition. Don't forget about that. Mr. Bibi was here to talk about that. We're talking about mental health, you know, the intervention in the in schools, and we're talking about Tema Secondary School at 60. So these are all amazing events that are coming up that you need to attend. You know, let's build a better society, better mind, you know, looking good with our heritage, our culture, and living our best lives, you know, to catch up with the global world that we all find ourselves in. Have a great evening. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Truly African.